Good evening and welcome to Sack to the Future 1961 AFL Wildcard game. If you just finished watching the Dallas Cowboys and Seattle Seahawks playoff game, it's time now to finish the Sack to the Future playoff weekend and get us moved into the divisional round. In this game, for the second year in a row, both my teams are facing off against each other. Just my luck. So, I've put the Colts on autopilot. And I will be simulating the game as the Bills. Oddly enough, after I put the Colts on autopilot, it would not let me do the training for the Bills. Not that I really wanted to. But just weird that I couldn't. Alright, I don't know if commentating is going to work or not. So let me go ahead and while this is loading, load up a YouTube video for myself. So if you've enjoyed the NFL playoffs today, stay tuned for one more. Alright. Okay, well I didn't get that started yet, but let's see. L3, speed, slow, jump forward. End of game. Alright, so I have no control. I am at the mercy of the computer. There's the kickoff taken by Ken Gregory at the 18. He gets out to the 31, and that's where John Unitas and the Baltimore Colts will take over. Okay, yes, I see Phantom Fighter and Ryan Sure Trump are on, have commented. It's not showing up on the screen, so I've got my laptop open. Jesus. Hope I don't cough through the whole broadcast. Nope, they're, it's weird because they worked for Brian in his game, but didn't work for me now and didn't work for Phantom Fighter, but there's a blitz on. Unitas throws on the run to the sideline, incomplete. So can the Colts franchise get 2 playoff wins in one day? Yeah, choked up about the Cowboys game. Dick Zemansky, Alex Sandusky, Palmer Pyle, George Prius, and Jim Parker, the offensive line. Lenny Lyles, Tom Matt, Jim Mutchler, Lenny Moore, and Raymond Berry. So Joe Perry's not starting a playoff game. And I have no control over it. I took the control of the Bills team because the Colts uniforms are closest to modern, so I guess that helps the Bills out in one way. I don't know. Unitas throws out another flat, and they're going to call it to Ken Gregory an incomplete pass, I think. The Bills' defensive line, Yoho, Torson in the ends, McMurtry, and Day in the middle. Linebackers, Archie Mansell, Ralph Felton, Stu Barber. And the secondary, Billy Atkins, Jim Wagstaff, Jim Crody, and Vern Valdez. Who are we rooting for? Well, Phantom Fighter's taking the Colts. Obviously, I'm taking the better team. Stu Barber on the blitz, and he gets the Unitas and is sacked. Part of me wants the Bills because they are my favorite team. But I would also like to win a Super Bowl with the Colts and Unitas. Of course, it's going to not be the easiest of tasks to get through past John M. and the Houston Oilers. No, okay, Ryan, here's what happens. When our team play each other, by league rule that we agreed upon at the beginning, we have to simulate it. So we have no control over the game. So if the Oilers play the Giants, John M. simulates it. Next season when the Bears play the Broncos, Phantom Fighter will simulate it. Same with Cowboys and Browns, and Bills and Colts. And for the second year in a row, the Bills and Colts are meeting in the Wildcard playoff, so a booming punt, and it's going to bounce at the 2, and that's where it's going to be downed. Tom Gilberg. A tremendous punt, putting the Bills all the way back to the 2-yard line, and that is where Warren Rabb will take over. You know, the funny thing is Phantom Fighter points out that Archie Mansell's had over 100 tackles, most among human-controlled teams. I didn't control him, though, because I control the defensive line. So that's all on the computer. That's Phantom Fighter's ratings right there. Very well done. Rab hands it off to Ray Carlton. He's going to get through the first set and get about 6 yards. Now, in the 2 regular season games between the Bills and Colts in 60 and 61, the Colts have blown the Bills out. But in the playoff game last year, the Bills kept it close. Colts took an early lead, quite a big lead. The Bills brought it back and made it close, but the Colts moved on. And will then go on to beat the Oilers and Browns before succumbing to the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. This time, Carlton is dropped in the backfield for a loss of 3. Big Art Donovan slicing through. The big man and the forcing a 3rd down and 5. 3rd and 7, sorry, from the 5. Yep, that is true. After this game, Brian Phelps is down the Cowboys. Phantom Fighters down the Broncos. Both those teams didn't make the playoffs. After this game, I will be down 1, and John M. will be the only competitor with both his teams left, and they're both the number 1 seeds. And, of course, Vegas is odds-on favorites to go and have a simmed Super Bowl. Now, the goal for all of us, 4 competitors, should be to be the first that gets to sim the Super Bowl, but the goal for the other 3 should be to hope that the other one's not, and have a competitive Super Bowl. Punt taken at the 50 by Raymond Berry. He is going to drive his way for 8 yards, and that's where Unitas, the old master, well, I guess he's not so old in 1961, comes on to take over. The old master in 61 was only 28 years old. Unitas back to pass, and he's going to be hit again. This time Mac Yoho gets the sack, and that is the 2nd sack for the Buffalo Bills this game, and drives the Colts back to their own 49, a loss of 9 yards on the play. Unitas turned around, he had no chance. Yoho was right there with a bottle of rum to take down the master. Second down, 19. Unitas gets to Lyles. You know, after the problem last week, who's number 3? We don't have a number 3 on our team. After the problem last week with Lyles getting the start, I should have gone to my Baltimore profile and made sure that Joe Perry was starting. But I didn't, and so the playoff game's a little screwy, but the Colts are still good enough they can do it on their own. Unitas misses. He's now 0 for 3. Hey, look ahead to the divisional round. The winner of this team takes on the Houston Oilers. The San Diego Chargers will go to the Cleveland Browns. The Green Bay Packers will battle the Chicago Bears. And the Detroit Lions will take on the New York Giants in the divisional round. So we're only going to have one human versus human opponent game, and that'll be me and John M. Whether it's the Colts or Bills is yet to be determined. Also for me and John M, Blast for the Past. The next game will be ready tonight. We're not going to do it tonight, but it will be ready as of tonight. Hello, Brian. Welcome to the broadcast. I don't know if on the replay version, if you guys... Has anybody watched one of these games where the comments aren't showing up to see if the side chat pops up? I don't think so. Ray Carlton tries to spin move, and Art Donovan crushes him. Plants him face first into the turf of War Memorial Stadium, the rock pile. 2-yard loss, 2nd down and 12. Anyway, back to the Blast and the Pass game. I'll be finishing the Chicago Tigers tonight. So, John, if you're watching, if not, we'll set it up. I got the next 3 days off, although we are supposed to be getting together Wednesday morning for an early lunch. So either Monday, Sunday night, Monday, or Tuesday morning, we're good to go on both the Blast and the Pass game and this Sack to the Future game. We have a doubleheader this week. Oilers versus the winner of this, and 1920 Rock Island Independence versus the Chicago Tigers of 1920. And that will finish up the wildcard round for Blast in the Past. Have the option to turn, what, The live chat. Yeah, but it's not a live chat at that point. Warren Rabb back to pass. And he's going to be drilled by Gino Marchetti, who just celebrated his 95th birthday the other day. 95 was a Hey Google, how old is Gino Marchetti?
Gino Marchetti is 92 years old. 92.
His 92nd birthday the other day. So happy birthday to him, and congratulations on stacking Warren Rabb. That was pretty good for a 92-year-old. Okay, good. So at least the people, if they watch it without full screen, they'll see why I'm talking to you guys, and I'm not just randomly answering. There's not somebody in my earpiece that's not showing up. It's the chat. And on 4th and 20, Billy Atkins on the punt. This time the punt drives Raymond Berry back to his 39, and he calls for a fair catch. So far in the playoffs, we've had 3 tremendous games. Yale Larry, the big hero in the Lions 49ers game, will go down in NFL lore as the 90-yard pick six. And then Jack Kemp leading the drive. See, it's Back to the Future, so there is no Elway drive. There's the Jack Kemp drive, though. Leading the drive, and the Chargers pass Boston. And then Green Bay just doing whatever they wanted with Atlanta. Semi-pro team. Ooh, excuse me. Unitas in the shotgun on 2nd and 8, which I hardly ever use, but hey, whatever works. And there's going to be a flag, early movement on the Colts offensive line. So today I went 1-1 in the playoffs. I picked the Colts to beat the Texans, and I picked the Seahawks, and of course somebody, Phantom Fighter, asked me a few minutes ago why I picked the Seahawks over the Cowboys. And I really dislike both teams, and it's nothing, against some of the fans, but my whole life I've been surrounded by Cowboy fans. My brother, sharing a bedroom with him growing up, as he was a big Cowboy fan. Unitas going deep. Intercepted by Jim Wagstaff at the 8. Wagstaff's going to come back to the 20, the 30. Makes a spin move, and he's going to be taken down to the 32. So back to my story. Sharing a bedroom with my brother growing up. He's a big Cowboy fan. I'm a big Bills fan, and it was right through the Super Bowl years, too. Then I go to college, and first love of my life, she's a Cowboys fan. And her whole family, and her mother was one of them crazy Cowboy fans who you couldn't even say anything bad against them because she'd bitch slap you if you did. Not really, but. So that falls apart. I go and I meet my wife, who's a Giants fan. But her whole family, mother-in-law, father-in-law, sister's husband's mother, my wife's aunt, all Cowboy fans. So, yeah, to me, I root against the Cowboys. I don't much as hate them as I used to, but it's just personal. It's a family thing. Same reason why I root against Syracuse when they're playing, because it's my in-laws team, and I'm not a Syracuse fan anyway, so I'll root against them if they're playing St. Bonaventure. Doesn't matter. Although they beat Notre Dame today. Warren Rabb hands off to Ray Carlton. He gets by the first man, but then Billy Ray Smith takes him down with a achy-breaky tackle, and it'll be 2nd and 9. Crockett goes in motion. A reminder, Tom Reichlich, the starting tight end, is out with an injury and will not be back unless the Bills make the Super Bowl, which is highly unlikely. So on 3rd and 9, from the 34, Rabb is under center again with one man in the backfield, and they're going to be a false start penalty on the Bills. Reichlich will play one more year in Buffalo, though, before becoming a Denver Bronco in 1963 for his final season. Third down and 14 out of the 29. Warren Rabb's got some time. He throws over the middle to Wilmer Fowler. Fowler's going to make one man miss, but then be tackled after a pickup of 8 yards, and it'll be 4th down and 5. And Billy Atkins will have to come on and punt again. I know, my terrible puns, especially since it's Billy Ray Cyrus and not Billy Ray Smith. Achy breaky tackle. Just imagine, though, like I've said before, if, in the blast from the past, if Rock Island meets Dayton in the Super Bowl, the quarterback matchup is going to be bacon versus chicken, and you better believe I'm going to be on my A game for that one. PETA better not be watching. Unitas comes back out now after the long interception. He has yet to complete a pass. 0 for 4 on the afternoon. He drops back. He looks over the middle. He completes the pass to D. Mackey. D. Mackey, not to be confused with the future tight end John Mackey. No relation. Stu Barber on the tackle. Stu Barber DDT'd him. Didn't even set him up with a short clothesline beforehand. Just gave him the DDT and brought out the snake. And that's a wrestling reference. If you're thinking anything else, get your mind out together. Unitas back to pass. Throws it over the middle, complete to Jim Mutchler. Mutchler is brought down by Stu Barber again. That's his first reception, good for 9 yards and a first down. And now Unitas is settled in. What was Matzos doing? Look at this animation for Matzos. He was leading with the head. That was full-on targeting right there. Launching. It is 1961 though, so. Unitas back to pass. He's got some time. He throws it in the flat to Mutchler, and Mutchler immediately runs out of bounds. I hate that play so much. The fact that the receivers cannot stop themselves after a reception near the sideline. It is not realistic. NFL receivers can stop themselves on a dime. When there's nobody around them and it's not a hard, deep, it's not a diving catch. That is just a simple catch. Lenny Lyles chased backwards, and now he's carried the ball 3 times for 2 yards. You ever notice the players on the sidelines don't have names on the backs of their jerseys? That's the end of one in a scoreless first quarter. I did get your notification earlier about Best Era Football. I put it in my little to watch later playlist. My next game that I'll be watching is the Bills and Falcons game on Best Era Football. Can't wait to watch that. I've decided to put any severe games, Best Era, Classic Era, Second to the Future, that I don't get to see into that playlist, and I delete them as I watch them. But that's just a little help for me to find the videos later. 3rd down and 9, Unitas in the shotgun. He's got 5 receivers split all over the place, as far out as Western Ontario. Unitas throws over the middle. It's caught by Raymond Berry, and he's plowed down to the 48-yard line. Berry is slow to get up. 1st down and 10, though. You didn't get this one. Not surprised. That's why I sent it to the chat, because YouTube has just been really off their game lately. We don't need to watch the replay a million times. I gotta remember to hit the X button. So it'll be 1st and 10. They're in Buffalo territory. Unitas brings Lenny Moore in motion. And it's a pitch out to Lenny Lyles. Lyles is going to pick up 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 6. This is the final game of the Wildcard weekend. Second down and 6. Unitas comes up under center. Unitas back to pass. Fakes the handoff. Throws. Got a man. Ball is stepped up in the air and almost intercepted. Safety came over. Jim Crody at the last minute and knocked it down. What do you do, Tom? Knock it down. 3rd down and 6. Well, that one game you played, I actually think it was yesterday's playoff game. I didn't get the notification until the game was over. Unitas back to pass. He runs, he throws. Lenny Moore's got the first down. And we're now under 6 minutes to go in the half. The Colts are still driving. 1st and 10 at the 36-yard line. Bill's secondary, for the weakest part of their team, has done a decent job. There's no depth on the secondary, of course. Neither with the Colts right now as Mike Sumner, the 5th-string running back, is the backup safety. Just to meet the criteria. Unitas gives to Lyles. Lyles picks up a yard before being nailed by Matsos. Nope, Ralph Felton on the tackle. I saw the 5. I didn't see if it was a 6 or a 7 on the other side of the jersey. It was 57, not 56. 2nd down and 9. Unitas in the shotgun. He's back to pass. He's going to swing it out to the running back who immediately steps out of bounds. 3rd down and 9. They're going to call that one incomplete. Because the running backs do not adjust themselves when the ball's in the air. They just wait for it to come. There's that Bills train whistle. When you're live in that stadium, that's a sound to hear. Unitas back to pass. He's got a man diving. Raymond Berry makes a catch, a 1st down to the 13-yard line. When you are in New Era Field, formerly known as Ralph Wilson Stadium, formerly known as Rich Stadium, and it's 3rd down and the crowd is rocking and that whistle's blowing, man, the energy is electric. I don't know what NFL stadiums you guys have been to. Ralph Wilson's the only one I've been to. I will. The plan is to be hitting MetLife this coming year and see the Bills and Giants. Unitas back to pass. He's got D. Mackey. Mackey had a shield, and he pushes his way into the end zone. And the Colts score first at 6-0. D. Mackey made himself look like John Mackey on that play and just ran somebody over. Gets a nice little shield there, and then there's boom, Wagstaff, get out the way. Move, get out the way, move. Lincoln Financial does look nice. A lot better than Veterans Stadium looked. And the extra point by Steve Myra is good. And the Colts have a 7-0 lead with 4:51 to go in the half. Well, it's time for the Bills to respond now. The defense held on tight for a quarter. Chamberlain on the return. Trying to bowl his way through. He is up to the 38-yard line. The vet was falling apart for about 20 years while they were still using it. I remember one preseason game against Baltimore, probably in 99 or 2000. It had to be canceled because the vet was in such rough shape. And that usually happens for stadiums that aren't NFL stadiums, like Fawcett Stadium in Canton or Mexico City. For that to happen to an NFL stadium, although it was preseason, was still very bad. 1st and 10 from the 38. Rab gives to Carlton. Carlton runs his way for probably 7 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 3. Rab taking his time, which annoys the piss out of me when I'm trying to run a play quickly. Hands it off to Carlton. Carlton's going to fall forward for maybe 2. It'll be 3rd down and 1. Let's set the table again here. This is the final wildcard game of the 1961 Sack to the Future season. The winner will go play the Houston Oilers. I control both teams, so it is a mandatory that we simulate it and watch. Rab hands it off to Carlton. Carlton busts through with the 1st down before being clotheslined out of his jock. Looked like the big tackle for the Bills wanted some kind of penalty. I don't know if he was looking for a head tackle or something, but let's see. Carlton comes through. It's hard to see. It looked like he went high, but, well, maybe on this play. I don't know. I'm not seeing anything there that result in that number 70 going nuts. The Bills. The Bills run the line. Warren Rab walks. Rab hands off to Carlton. Nice little hole, and Carlton's going to pick up 5 yards on the carry. It'll be 2nd down and 5 from the Colts 46. Warren Rab's got to clip his nails before he goes under center. Back to pass. Nope, he's going to hand off on the draw to Fowler. Oh, and Fowler is just pile drive by Marv Matuzak. Matuzak hits the Goldberg spear and gets up sticking his tongue out. 3rd down and 5. Brian, you're not wrong about Vet Stadium. So on 3rd down and 5, Rab back to pass. Throws it deep over the middle to nobody in particular, and it'll be a 4th down. Atkins gets the punt away. It's a high punt. It's going to be into the end zone and a touchback. So the Bills made a couple first downs, but then after that it just fell apart, and here come the Colts. Lonnie Lyles today, 5 rushes, 7 yards. He's got his starting job back inexplicably in the last 2 weeks after Joe Perry went over 1,000 yards. And the animation makes it look like Lyles is calling the play. It's always funny when they do that. The animation sometimes just leave you puzzled. Unitas wasn't even in the huddle. 1st down and 10. Back to pass. Speed drop on that one. Throws it out of bounds. D. Mackey could not bring it in. It was way over on the sideline. Billy Atkins has a goal for 170 punt yards. I'm sorry, but if my punter is having goals on how many yards he's going to get, that's not exactly something you want in football. His goal should be interceptions on defense. And then Lenny Lyles is buried in the backfield by Archie Matsos for a loss of 3, and it's 3rd down and 13. This might be the last play before the 2-minute warning. It is 3rd down though, so pending an incomplete pass. Unitas fakes the handoff. He's got time. He sets up. He throws it deep. It is a diving catch by Jimmy Orr. And Jimmy Orr gets the 1st down, and that will take us to the 2-minute warning. A 27-yard reception from Unitas to Orr. Unitas saw the wide open Orr. I believe that is the case, Ryan, that the turf on the Vet was a concrete base. You know, I've played on the normal AstroTurf when it was in the Carrier Dome in Syracuse. I also played at Kingston Stadium, or Dietz Stadium in Kingston, New York, on what's called an ISO-turf, which was the worst I've played on. It was a dirt base field, so every time you hit the turf, not only were you getting the rug burn, but the sand was coming up and getting into your open cuts. So that was fun. Those are the only 2 types of turf I played on. Of course, my playing career ended before this new field turf was invented with rubber pellets. I can't let it go. I will never let it go. You know, he gets back to pass. Oh, incomplete. What he's referring to is Super Bowl III. A play that happened 11 years before I was born. Well, a little over 10 years before I was born. And Earl Morrall missed a wide open Jimmy Orr and threw a bad interception to Dick Hudson of the Jets. And, well, I'll never let it go. 2nd down and 10. But Unitas sees him. Back to pass. Throws it over the middle. Complete to Raymond. No, incomplete. Barry, the usually sure-handed Barry, drops the ball. Guess he was thinking about that coaching job he's got to do in Super Bowl 20. And it scared him. 3rd down and 10. Another 3rd down. And the whistles blow again. Unitas back to pass. Over the middle, complete to Muchler. Muchler is going to power his way right near the goal line, and the Colts will use... No, the Bills will use their first timeout. It'll be 4th and 1 from the 32, which would set up a possible 50-yard field goal or 49-yard field goal for Steve Myra. No, I can't because I won't be controlling the Colts. When I first read that statement, hold on, they're going to punt. Gilbert with a coffin corner job. It's going to go out of bounds to the 10. All right, Phantom Fighter just said, unfortunately, I cannot stop the Colts from benching Unitas for Morrill in 68. When I first read it, I was like, yeah, I can, but then it dawned on me that no, I won't be controlling the Colts in 68. I've only got them until the Falcons are a real team in 66. When Geppetto makes the Falcons a real team, I drop the Colts for the Falcons, and I will finally have a team in the NFC. But, well, will the computer bench Unitas for Morrill? I mean, that'll be... Of course, I'm sure that Unitas' injury will be high up at that point. Over the middle, pass is incomplete. Warren Rabb has started the day 1 of 5 for 9 yards. Fantastic stats. Steve Echeverry against the Lions type stats. There's a look at Gary Glick, who's come up big in many of these situations for the Colts this year. Rabb back to pass. And he is going to be buried by Art Donovan down to the 4-yard line. I'm not sure he was even up that far. 3rd down and 16, and the Colts call timeout. So Bills huddling in the end zone. 3rd and long. Yeah, the strategy is out there. It worked wonders for Echeverry. Fowler, he is going to be buried on the draw by Billy Ray Smith. Not to be confused with the Chargers linebacker in the 80s of the same name. And it is going to be 4th down, and Billy Atkins will come out to punt. Will he meet his goal of punting yards? Yeah, you can join the party. The punt is blocked. It's rolling around in the end zone, and it is recovered for a touchdown. Bob Harrison. Bob Harrison has a Baltimore touchdown. Harrison, the rookie out of Ohio, bobcats his way into the end zone, and he has a playoff touchdown. And the extra point by Myra is good, and all of a sudden the Colts lead 14-0. So Phantom Fighter should be joining the party momentarily, joining the broadcast, I should say. There he is. Welcome.
Hey,
how you doing?
Pretty good. Yeah. Bills did not need that.
No, that was definitely a bad turn right there. Here's the kickoff. It's going to be a short kickoff taken by Dubenion on the 15. He's going to be up to the 35 where he's gang tackled. 20-yard return for Doobie. The Bills' defense and the Bills' offense not on the same page. It looked kind of like there was some harsh words as they were coming off the field. The bickering Bills of 61. Rabb back to pass. Throws it to the sideline. It is a completion to Albert Dubenion. That'll be his first completion of the day, and that is good for 14 yards and a first down right at midfield.
We'll see. We'll see how this game goes next year when, Dubenion's rating's going to keep going up. You're going to have Kemp. Somehow the Chargers let him go.
Glenn Bass will be improving too. He's not even on the field right now. Oh, no, there he is, I think. Rabb back to pass. Over the middle, complete to Carlton. Plus we'll have a young man by the name of Cookie Gilchrist.
Yeah.
Tom Reichlich will be back from injury for his final season in Buffalo. 3rd down and 1, Rabb in the shotgun, a minute to go. The Colts blitz is on, and the pass is complete to Albert Dubenion, and a first down. They're huddling up for some reason. And Warren Rabb taking a sweet time getting line of scrimmage. Back to pass is Rabb. He throws it across the green to Ray Carlton. And there's an injury. And it looks to be Carlton as he did. Not sure. Wilmer found. Nope, Carlton's in the game, I believe. I'm not sure who the injury was on, but Buffalo, well, they're down to one timeout. The Colts are down to none, so I don't know. That pass is batted back in the air, and also this will be the last game that Warren Rabb will be starting for Buffalo if they do not come back and win. We'll start 62 with Al Darrell at quarterback, and then September 24th, Jack Kemp comes to town. Well, Rabb will be on the roster next year, but the Johnny Green experiment is over. He will be with the New York Titans. Rabb back to pass. Throws it over the sideline to Glenn Bass and a first down. No, they say he did not get the first down. He went out of bounds. So Billy Atkins will come on to attempt a 35-yard field goal. This is not. He doesn't have a leg for 35 yards. No, it's good. The Bills are on the board at 14-3. 26 seconds to go in the half. So the Colts have no timeouts, and with an 11-point lead, they'll probably just run the ball head to halftime. Unitas hands off to Lyles. Nice hole. He picks up 5, and that should end the first half.
And if it wasn't for that punt block.
It'd be well, I believe the Bills get the ball to start the second half, if I remember correctly. The Bills are showing a blitz, and Lyles runs right by the blitz. Gets the first down and then some, and that is the half, with the Baltimore Colts leading the Buffalo Bills 14-3. Mackey's touchdown kind of looked like Dak Prescott's big run at the end of the fourth quarter. He ran right through guys who didn't even try to tackle him. It's a 37-minute first half. I'm going to skip the halftime because this game is running so long. It's already after 12 here in the East Coast, and I still got to do roster work. So the Bills do start. Warren Rabb comes in. Gets a pat of assurance from Albert DeBenion. Just throw him the ball. You'll be all right. Rabb hands it off to Carlton. Carlton with a big burst of speed. He's got the first down and a pickup of 12 yards. That now 10 rushes, 28 yards on the day. And it'll be first down and 10 at the 37. Hand off to Carlton again. This time he gets by the first man. Marchetti brings him down. He picks up 3 yards, second down and 7. Crockett comes in motion. Rabb fakes the handoff. The blitz is on. He throws it just in time and completes it to DeBenion for the first down. A pickup of 19 yards. And the Bills are in Baltimore territory. DeBenion's third reception of the day. It'll be first and 10 from the 41. Rabb in the shotgun. I guess Rabb heard that he was being replaced. Hand off to Carlton. Carlton's going to be brought down in the backfield for a loss of 2. Second down and 12. Fowler takes the handoff, spins around for no reason, jumps over another guy, spins through. That one time he's tackled. And he picks up 4. Nope, 6. 3rd down and 6, because it was 2nd and 12. A lot of dancing out of Fowler for 6 yards. Rapp throws over the middle, complete to Fowler for the 1st down to the 23-yard line. 14-yard pickup. Rapp hands off to Fowler. Fowler is met. He picks up a yard, but Art Donovan brings him down 2 yards, they're going to say. 2nd and 8 from the 21. Rapp back to, nope, hands off to Fred Brown. Fred Brown, the seldom used 3rd string tailback. Not sure why he's in there. Is Carlton injured? It'll be 3rd down and 10 after a loss of 2, though. Rapp fakes the handoff to Carlton, so he's back in the game. Crockett catches the pass on the swing, and he's going to pick up 6, but it'll bring up a 4th down. 4th down and 5. Monty Crockett on the reception. And Billy Atkins will come on to attempt a 34-yard field goal. He hit from 35 right before the half. Going the other way, though. And it's blocked. It is blocked and it is scooped up by Jim Welch, and he's gone. So the Baltimore Colts are going to get 2 special team blocks for touchdowns. Billy Atkins the closest man there, but he couldn't catch him. Jim Welch picks up the block field goal and brings it back 62 yards for the touchdown. So the Colt offense hasn't been as good, but the Colt special teams has been top-notch today, and they now lead 21-3. Even when I'm not playing, I have kicks blocked against me. Myra, booming kick into the end zone. And now Unitas can just... Oh, I'm sorry, the Bills have the ball. I forgot it was blocked against them. So Warren Rabb has to work some magic here that he does not have. And a false start on the Bills' offensive line. Total yards is even. 120 to 117. It's the 2 special teams blocks that have been the difference in this game. Carlton running, driving for 7 yards, and even Brian just said we have an amazing amount of blocked field goals, especially in simulation games. What were you saying?
I was saying the game, on the outside of special teams, the Bills are getting closer.
Yeah. They need to get a touchdown on this drive, though. Rabb gives to Carlton, and there's nothing doing that time as Gino Marchetti meets him in the backfield, and so is Art Donovan. The combination of Marchetti and Donovan takes Carlton down for a loss of 3 yards, I believe. I think it was 2nd and 8. Now 3rd and 11. The whole Colt line, Bill Pellington was even coming through. There was just no blocking by the Bills' offensive line. It's just par for the course. And another false start penalty on the Bills, pushing back 3rd and 16 now.
Wow.
The Bills' offensive line is trying to make the Cowboys' offensive line of 61 look like they're an all-pro unit right now. Although both offensive lines did block for a 1,000-yard rusher, but the Cowboys had no depth after he had to cut that one guy. Rabb back to pass. Throws it over the middle of Fowler. Fowler makes one man miss. Jukes right into another man. To Don Shinnick on the tackle.
I think that's just more to what we were saying. The running seems to be too easy for the humans, too hard for the computer, because terrible lines are getting 1,000 yards. I think good lines get almost 3,000.
Yep. Yep, definitely. I'll bring the blocking down
Although
a
you
few.
might want Cookie Gilchrist to get 3,000 next year.
We'll bring the blocking down, the run blocking down a few points, and bring the computer ones up a little bit, and just see if, you know, nothing too wild. I'm not going to make it like my Gridiron History sliders, but that is a horrible punt. Horrible, horrible punt. From the 26 to the 44, an 18-yard punt.
Wow.
Billy Atkins is
Special
shook.
teams coach is getting fired.
Billy Atkins' confidence is shook after the two. He's had a blocked punt and a blocked field goal. Well, he entered the game. He entered the game thinking about punt yards instead of interceptions and field goals. Let's take a look at the former San Francisco 49ers. Learn a little bit about him. Billy Atkins. As Unitas takes over from the 44, pass complete to Muchler, and they're going to pick up 4 yards. Billy Atkins, born November 19th, 1934 in Millport, Alabama. He passed away on November 5th, 1991, so he passed away right during the Bills' golden years. He played for the 49ers in 58 and 59, the Bills from 60 to 63. He joined the New York Titans in 62, spent 2 years with them, and then finishes up with the Denver Broncos in 64. Probably not much of a kicker by then, though. A lot of future Broncos on the field today. They're in these playoffs. Raymond Berry comes in motion. Unitas pitches it to Lenny Lyles. Lyles going to pick up 1. We were talking about Tom Reichlef earlier. I don't know if you heard or not, but he comes back to Buffalo for 1 year and then goes to Denver in 63. The injured tight end of the Bills.
Okay, yeah.
Cookie Gilchrist, who we've talked about, he's both a future Bill and Bronco. He'll actually wear number 2 when he's a Denver Bronco as a running back. Unitas back to pass. He's 34 with the Bills and 2 with the Broncos.
Yeah, there's between 2 and 3 players that the Broncos don't need to replace. So.
Yep.
Welcome all newcomers.
That was almost intercepted. Dropped by Archie Matzos. 4th down, and Steve Myra is going for a 56-yard field goal. Into the wind, though. He does have the wind at his back. And he is an actual kicker. It's low. It's short. It's not going to... It was under the crossbar. It hit the net, but didn't have enough height. I think this is my last year with Myra, if I remember correctly. I know I get Lou Michaels at some point. Yeah, 61. So, whenever the Colts are done, he's done. He retires. So he'll be kicking for some semi-pro team next year. That's a shame. It's hard to lose a good kicker in the 60s.
Yeah.
Rab fakes the handoff to Carlton. Throws it to the sideline. And a backpedaling Chamberlain goes right out of bounds. Or Barnett, sorry, Bob Barnett. Seldom used wide receiver. 2nd down and 4 after the 6-yard gain. Oh, just a reminder, Brian, you took control of the Packers for that. No, or was it you? Who did the Packer game? It was Brian, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just a reminder for the next round, you'll have to leave the Packers so that Phantom can get that game in. As far as you and I go, our bonus game profiles both lost, so we can just stay where we are for the time being.
Yeah, hopefully that'll cause less work to be done for those teams, or we can handle, you know, any trades that need to happen from the...
Well, that's why I started the, what's it called, the bonus profile to begin with, was so that I could actually go in and, you can do it whenever, Brian. It doesn't have to be when we advance. That way I didn't have to go in and try and trade for a guy and then trade him away, and that way I could just take control of a roster and do all the moves I needed to, and then from that sprung up the idea of the bonus games. Rab back to pass. He's going to be dropped, and he's hurt. Warren Rab is hurt. Art Donovan makes the sack. It is a loss of 9, and that means Johnny Green's coming in. So in what will be most likely his last game as a Buffalo Bill, Johnny Green is coming into the game. Warren Rabb drinking some Gatorade on the sideline. Well, actually, it's going to be a punt, so Green's not coming in just yet. Atkins gets this time the punt is away, but it's only going to go... Taking it by Barry at the 44. It goes 17 yards. No, 13 and 6, 19 yards. So, must be a real strong wind heading left to right. Or right to left, I mean. First down and 10 from the 44 for Unitas, as they have evidently the wind at their back. Unitas hands to Lenny Lyles. He is met by the corner, Vern Valdez, and dropped. Billy Atkins has met his punt yards, by the way. Just saw the update on the bottom. He's got 179 punt yards for the day. So he should be proud. Second down and 9 as the clock ticks toward the end of the third. Unitas hands to Lyles. Big hole with a blocking by Joe Perry. Lenny Lyles picks up a first down, and that will end the third quarter with the Baltimore Colts leading the Buffalo Bills 21-3 on the strength of 2 blocked kicks for touchdown. And now we start the fourth quarter with the Colts heading into the wind. First and 10 though from the 45. Unitas hands to Lyles. Lyles is going to drag. Looks like McMurtry. Nope, Tom Day drags Tom Day for 5 yards before falling down. This must have been the first playoff game of the weekend because none of the final scores are showing up on the bottom. Unitas hands to Lyles.
I think we might have done it in reverse order because
yeah.
It seemed like everyone that was played didn't show any results.
Third down and 4. Really? Ryan just said YouTube on a cell phone is a second faster than his on the internet. Must be on his computer.
Oh.
I've walked from one room to the next and it's been faster in one room over the next, so maybe it is the placement toward your router as well. Who knows? And the pass is complete as Raymond Berry drags his feet, which is what he was famous for. So as we enter the fourth quarter here, the Colts are going to work on the clock. Mention my picks for tomorrow real quick. Which game's first? Is it the NFC game? No, the AFC game is first.
Chargers. Yeah.
I'm going with the Ravens in that game. See if the Ravens can get the victory over the Chargers twice in 3 weeks. Unitas hands to Lyles, and he is met in the backfield and dropped. And then the Bears in the second game. Sorry, Ryan. I really would. What I would really love to see though is fog roll in tomorrow afternoon. The very first playoff game that I watched and paid attention to, because I did watch Super Bowl 20, was the Fog Bowl. Joe Perry on the carry. He picks up 3 yards. For the old-time NFL leading rusher, he's got 4 yards in this playoff game. I can guarantee you he'll get more than 4 against the Oilers. Steve Meyer lines up for what will be about a 40-yard field goal attempt into the wind. Into a strong wind. It is up. It is good.
For John.
What? He's going to get more than 4 yards? Oh. And the Colts have taken a 24... bold prediction. More than 4 yards. 24-3 lead for the Colts now. And the kickoff is going to be taken at the 11 by Chamberlain. Chamberlain makes one guy miss and is run over by the second up to the 30. So now, is Rabb back in the game or is Johnny Green going to enter? Nope, Warren Rabb is walking on the field. So the injury was not that serious. So Johnny Green does not get to make an appearance in his last game. with the Bills. He will start for the Jets in 62. Rab back to pass. He's going to be sacked by Marchetti. A loss of 12 yards, 2nd and 22. Rab throws complete to Carlton. He picks up 6 yards on the reception. It'll be 3rd and 17. Third down and 17. Rab's got an empty backfield. He is going to be dropped. They're going to say Ordell Braze and number 26. I've got to look that one up. Mike Sumner. Mike Sumner, the backup running back, gets a half a sack in a playoff game. And actually, Rab just kind of kneels down. And Sumner's diving, and both Sumner and Braze kind of fall on him at the same time, get a half a sack apiece. And it's 4th and 26, and Atkins is on the punt. And the Bills are actually draining the clock with this one. Atkins gets the punt away. This one's a beautiful one. And going to be picked up by Barry and immediately run out of bounds. He ran 1 yard backwards as he picked the ball up. And let's see. 71 yard punt. So after the 18 and 19 yard punt, that'll help his average. 1st and 10 from the 15. Unitas gives to Lyles. He's chased outside and will be tackled for a 4 yard loss by Mac Yoho. 2nd down and 14, and we've hit the 2-minute warning with a Baltimore Colts leading the Buffalo Bills 24-3. I don't expect much out of the Colts other than the running game. Lyles looks kind of slow. He is dropped all the way back down to the 9 yard line by Archie Matzos. Nope, Stu Barber, number 64. Third down and 16 now. And United's hands off to Joe Perry, who's going to pick up 1 yard. So he has 5. And it'll be 4th and 15. The Colts will sit on the ball as long as the Bills allow them to before they punt it away. I think this is the worst showing the Bills have had yet in the 4 games now that they've had the sim.
Mostly their special teams.
Gilbert, and it's almost blocked. He fumbled the snap, but he's able to get it away. And he gets the punt off for 46 yards. So 46 yards into the wind, as opposed to the 18 and 19 yard efforts from Billy Atkins. "27 seconds to go and the Bills have the ball. There is no 21-point play. But do the Bills just give up on the season and go away, or do they try and score a touchdown? Rab is back to pass. He's going to throw it incomplete. It was in the guy's hands and he just dropped it. Bob Harrison, who scored the first defensive touchdown, Jim Welch the second. Rab back to pass. He throws it over the middle of Carlton. Carlton's got the first down and then some. Carlton is going to be slammed out of bounds at the 26-yard line with 17 seconds left. He picks up 40 yards on the play. 20, 24 and 6. 30 yards on the play. In 17 seconds and all 3 timeouts, can the Bills get a touchdown before the game ends? Warren Rabb taking 2 hours to get the line of scrimmage. Back to pass. Throws it over the middle of the end zone. Touchdown, Buffalo. He hits the streaking receiver. Don't know who it is. They're not showing a replay. Oh, here we go. Glenn Bass, number 88, the rookie. And they'll line up for the extra point. So Buffalo at least can go into the locker room at the end of the game knowing they had the confidence to score 1 touchdown when they needed to. Build off that for 62. They are lined up for an onside kick. It is picked up, however, by Jimmy Orr. I won't say it. And Johnny Unitas will come on to kneel the ball and end this game. Give it up to Lenny Lyles. Gets the first, picks up like 6 yards, and the Bills call timeout. Why? Do you really think you're going to get the ball back with 7 seconds left? Maybe they're hoping for a fumble or something. I don't know. Atkins made the tackle. He's had a rough day. Lyles up the middle. McMurtry in the timeout, and Buffalo uses another timeout. So with 3 seconds to go, they're lucky if the Colts don't throw a touchdown pass here. I mean, at a certain point, the game is over. I know I'm talking about my teams here, but Unitas is going to kneel it. And the Bills call timeout with 2 seconds to go. 4th down and 3.
Oh, boy.
Don't leave any timeouts in the pocket. I guess Unitas is going to line up. And he is going to hand the ball off to Lenny Lyles. Lyles got a huge hole. Burst through for a 17-yard, 6 to 18-yard gain, and that'll end the game. The Baltimore Colts have defeated the Buffalo Bills 24-10, and we'll move on next week to the divisional round for the 3rd time in this season. Baltimore will play Houston. Houston took the season series 2-0. In the first game, the Colts had a lead, but the Oilers turned it into a blowout in the second half. In the second game, it was all Oilers all day long. So the 3rd game is going to be on tap in the next couple days. It was a good season for the Buffalo Bills, just like 60 though. Kind of stumbled down the stretch. Lost some bad games to computer. The Jaguars game in week 1 didn't help. Losing to the Lions and Packers in blowout fashion. Dropping a game to the New York Titans toward the end of the season also made the end of the year interesting. Had some big human wins though against the Bears and Broncos. Sorry, but those were huge. Those actually got us in the playoffs. Probably kept the Broncos out too. And other human games against the Browns and Oilers were ugly, but Buffalo had a decent season and will come back in 62 with an entire new backfield with Al Darrow, Jack Kemp, Cookie Gilchrist. Ray Carlton will be back, but Wilmer Fowler will not. And that is the end of the game. Thanks for joining us here on Sack to the Future. We'll be moving on to the divisional round, and don't know when the games will start, but stay tuned on all 4 channels.